The immediate positive benefit of your brain, including your mood and your focus, happens when physical activity is in your life. And it has long-lasting benefits for your brain. And the brain is the most complex thing known to humankind.
Most pilots don't understand what career opportunities are available in the world of aviation. They're making career decisions based on advice from friends or posts on internet forums, meaning they are taking huge risks with their livelihood without having all the details. This podcast was created to help you understand the aviation industry so you can find your dream job. Let's get ready for Pushback. Here's your host and my dad, Nick Fialka.
Hey, pilot, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, hello. I'm stoked you're here. Welcome to a solo episode, and you found Ready for Pushback. I'm Nick Fialka, and we're going to dive in today on a topic I think is pretty darn crucial. And as I'm sitting here, I'm enjoying a nice cup of hot Cafe Bustelo coffee. I used to fly in and out of Miami for many years, and man, let me tell you, I fell in love with drinking Cafe Bustelo, and I still drink it today. Drink it black, nice and strong, love it. So here's our topic for today, right? So I've been doing a lot of reflecting about the struggle of being a professional pilot, about the fact that we're pulled in lots of different directions. In flight school, right? When you're in flight training, you're constantly having to study, you're being tested. It's so difficult. All these regulations you have to learn, whether you're in a civilian sector or in the military sector, you have to learn so much stuff, and it's so hard and it's so stressful. When you're a certified flight instructor, right? You have to stay ahead of the student. You have to know ahead of time what you are going to be training that day. And you have to be a pro at it. And you have to be the best at it. It takes a ton of time. When you have your first jobs after being a CFI and you're building time, you have to get checked out on new airplanes. You have to learn the policies and procedures for the companies that you're working for. You have to keep track of expenses and hours and maybe even maintenance schedules or all sorts of things, while you're also trying to build hours so that you can move on in your aviation dream. When you land your first jet job, you have to dedicate your life to learning at a faster pace and being a wizard on the FMS and understanding how not to get killed while operating at major airports and taxiing and who to talk to and who not to talk to and who wants you to continue taxiing and not talk to ground and who wants you to stop at every single intersection. It's maddening. It's just like, how do you learn all of this? And while you're trying to land that final job that you can stay at for the last 20 or 30 or 40 years of your career, you are spending all of your time sharpening and working and trying to be great. But that's just the professional side of things. There's so many other things vying for your time. There are relationships, there are families, I guess, which are also relationships, but so many things have to get done. You may even have to go mow the yard. You might be the person that mows their yard. I don't know. There's so many things. When I was going through that process, I got really overwhelmed. I had a family, I had a business. I hadn't been flying in 5 years. It had been almost 10 years since I've flown an airplane. I was flying a helicopter years prior, but I took a lot of time off. I spent all of my time managing what I thought was like the most important stuff. And in 2019, that's when I got deployed to Africa for the year. And I was responsible for thousands of men and women who were actively defending our nation's interests. And I felt like my entire life was 110% all the time. It never stopped. I never had a second. And when COVID started, I started staying at home. I started putting on lots of weight, and I was like almost 260 pounds. And I actually was out of regulation for the height and weight standards for the Navy. Like, my waist size just kept going, and I couldn't stop eating, and I was lazy. and I couldn't stand it. And a guy from my college had started a home workout program on Facebook. You've heard me talk about it before. It's called Eager to Motivate. And I'd seen a lot of people on my feeds who had these awesome results. And so I decided that I was going to get back down to 210 pounds. So I dove in and I started working out. And I made a promise to myself that I was going to do that program 100%. It's only 8 weeks long. And so I changed what I ate. I stopped drinking. I bought workout bands that I could put in my travel suitcase. I bought a bungee cord clothesline so I could hang up workout clothes at the overnight hotels in the windows so they could dry off before I put them back in the bag. And at first it was really hard. I was an athlete in high school and in college. And I remember that I was like so fit. And now I would do 30-minute workout and I was sore as could be. And I couldn't do more than 20 push-ups. And I suffered. It was so hard. And the weight though, man, the weight started melting off. And it took me 4 months to drop all the weight that I wanted and more. I went down to 200 pounds and I had succeeded. And I noticed something important. And that thing is that I felt amazing. And after my workouts, my mood was amazing. And I was bouncing off the walls. And my quality of life was awesome. And the increase that I got and my self-confidence was great. And everybody noticed I lost weight and all these things, but I just felt great and I could do more. And I just had the energy and it was great. Can you tell it was great? Because it was great. And now I've been doing it for over a year and a half and I'll never look back. The focus and ability to maintain my attention for longer periods of time was fantastic. And I've been thinking a lot about this. And I think this is an important thing for you as a pilot, that you need to get off the couch, get off the computer, go do something and get your heart rate up. I think that is important. And so I decided to look it up and see if it was important. And so I did what I always do. I checked out to see if there were any TED Talks about it. And guess what? There's a TED Talk. It's called The Brain-Changing Benefits of Exercise. And it's by a lady named Wendy Suzuki. And she's a professor of neuroscience, which sounds really smart. So here's a couple things that she said. The immediate positive benefit of your brain, including your mood and your focus, happens when physical activity is in your life. And it has long-lasting benefits for your brain. And the brain is the most complex thing known to humankind. So the prefrontal cortex is where you get your decision-making and your focus and your attention and your personality. And the hippocampus, that's where you get your long-term memories of facts. Do you think that those two things sound important for the life of a pilot? At the start of my second 8-week program with Eager to Motivate, I got hired by Frontier and I felt like my long-term memory was amazing. And I was able to grasp the aircraft systems and the FMS management like I had never been able to before. Every day before class, I would make sure to get up and work out. I would get up straight up. I get up at 5 a.m. and I'd go work out. It was wintertime and it wasn't snowing yet. It was Denver and I would go on a run. It was hard because I'm from sea level and I'm up at 5,000 feet in Denver, which I think is about right. And it was really tough. But man, when I was doing it, I was listening to these pre-recorded training modules that they had handed out at Frontier. And I was able to retain information like I'd never done before. All the exercise I was doing was changing my brain. I was in a better mood. I had better energy. I had better attention. And all of this is what you get with exercise. And a single workout will immediately increase your dopamine, serotonin, and neuroadrenaline. It can improve your ability to shift and focus attention, and it will last 2 hours. It improves your reaction time, which means you'll catch the V1 cut engine failures faster. And you'll be able to react to emergencies better. If you work hard and continue to work out, you'll get longer lasting effects that will make you so much better at learning about flying and actually performing in the aircraft. Because exercise is actually changing your brain. The hippocampus that I talked about earlier, it creates more new brain cells and gets bigger and stronger and improves your long-term memory. It improves your attention. The immediate effects of a good mood neurotransmitters last longer. So the brain is like a muscle. And the more you work it out, the more your prefrontal cortex and your hippocampus get stronger. The better you're going to do at flying, the better you're going to do at retaining, the better you're going to do in an interview. And this is important because when you have a bigger and stronger brain, the two parts of your brain that are most susceptible to neurodegenerative diseases and cognitive decline and aging are the hippocampus and the prefrontal cortex. If you are working out and being strong, your brain will resist this longer. Hopefully, till you're past the age of 65. You will be able to have a better chance at creating a positive career throughout because you are stronger and your body is healthier. Your brain will last longer, and you need that. So you don't need to be like an Olympic athlete to do this, though. You need to work 3 times a week, 30 minutes of strenuous exercise. Get your heart rate up. Take the stairs in the hotel. Do something to keep yourself moving. I was pretty much the cover model for Fat Pilots of Instagram. And it is easy to let life get in the way. But if you can work out, if you can make yourself better, and do the working out, and also stop eating the first class meals. Stop eating at the restaurants when even these 2,000 calorie salads that you can get at Applebee's and things like that. Don't do that. Eat some lean protein. Eat some quality vegetables. Have a healthy fat. Do those things and change all of it because it will make you better and stronger, and people want to be around somebody that's in a more positive attitude. If you do this, you're going to succeed. You'll be a better pilot. You'll be a better student. You'll be a better person. You want to be the person that not only succeeds, but is also able to continue to succeed throughout their entire career. There are so many people that lose their medical because of diabetes or some kind of weight-related high blood pressure, heart attacks, all sorts of things. You've seen it. Don't be that person. And if you are that person, I'll tell you what, you can change. You can make that change. You just have to decide. You just have to decide because you want to be better. The people that love you want you to be better, and you need to go crush your interviews and have an awesome career. So go out there and get a little exercise because you'll thank me in the end. Hey, before you jump out of here and go on to the next podcast, can I ask a big favor? Would you mind going over to your app that you're listening to this podcast on and give me a review? Give me a 5-star review if you love it. Give me a 1-star review if it totally sucks. Put a comment in there, something that is helpful. It helps me. It helps get the word out there. It helps people find the podcast, and that's super cool. If you don't do that, maybe you could just share the podcast with a friend. Tell a buddy who's trying to figure it out, trying to sort out this pilot dream of theirs and get a little bit further. That is super awesome as well. Last, if you don't do either of those two things, how about this? Find a way today to make yourself 1% better. Do that thing that you've been putting off. Put your foot forward, make movement, get yourself going, get that inertia that you need to succeed in this industry. So that's your choice. Leave a review, tell a friend, or make yourself better. Either way, it's all a good choice. And I'm super stoked you're listening, and I will see you on the next episode. The statements made on this show are my own opinions and do not reflect, nor are they under any direction from my employer.